It's a 6-month countdown. That's how quickly the end of 2021 is actually going to be here. And I am not the person that likes or cares to have a New Year's resolution. I think if you're going to start something and change something in your life, do it when you feel like doing it. And sometimes we need to shake up and we need to think about how we've actually already spent, literally, time and money the first 6 months of this year, which are already gone. Crazy to me. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about a way to reset the remainder of 2021, ways to go ahead and get your finances in order before the end of the year. But if you are new to my channel, my name is Jennifer. I make videos on saving money and living a simple life. I'm also documenting our journey to paying off our mortgage by the year of 2024 and ultimately just being financially independent. So if any of that interests you, make sure you hit that subscribe button. To change course on your financial trajectory, you really have to start out with the foundation, and it is organizing your finances. Understanding where your money's going and where you want it to go rather than it just leaking. Honestly, this starts out with going through the details of your finances. You've got to take control of your money rather than having it control you. A lot of people don't even know where their money is going. If you have a teenager, do you know where they're going? Are you worried about them? If you're worried about them, you should also be worried about your money and know where it's going. Going through your finances and understanding what is actually happening helps you to identify leaks. You're inspecting the boat before you go out on a 30-day cruise on a sailboat, making sure there are no leaks and no holes. Doing this is going to allow you the ability to set up a clear path, a clear way that you're going to get to whatever it is that your goal is, whether that's paying off debt, paying off your mortgage early like we're doing, some sort of financial goal that you have. And if you don't have a financial goal, now's the time to figure out one that you can look forward to, that can be your why for making these changes. Now, there are 3 steps to take to identify and get to this kind of base of where you need to start before you launch out into the sea, right? The first is reviewing your expenses. And I'm talking detailed expenses. I recommend going through the last 3 months of bank statements, credit card statements, identifying what it is you're spending money on. An easy way to do this is if you take your credit card statement or your bank statement and you're going to identify things via a highlighter. So you're going to take a highlighter and let's say orange is going to be for restaurants or eating out. Blue is going to be for utilities. Pink is going to be for just random shopping at maybe Target or Marshall's or at the mall that you really don't remember what it is that you bought, but random shopping. And then other colors for other categories that you can think of, emergencies, etc. And at the end of that, you're going to go through and you're going to add up all the orange lines, all the blue lines, all the green lines, all the pink lines. And you're going to come to a number that you spent over the last 3 months in all of those categories. And you're possibly going to feel sick at the amount of money if this is something you've never done. Now, this is going to help you start out with what's called a zero-based budget, where you're starting out at a zero idea of what your budget should be. And you're going to understand first when your income's coming in. So you're going to take your income, let's say it's $2,000 a month, and you need to fit your expenses within that $2,000 a month. If you want, your goal is a certain thing such as paying off your mortgage early or paying off debt, you want your expenses to be lower than your income so you have wiggle room within that to pay off debt. So let's say your income's $2,000 and you want your monthly payment towards your debt to be $200. Then your expenses need to be no more than $1,800. Review everything. Review all of your subscriptions. This is one of the biggest things that can leak. It's all these little bitty purchases. Going to Starbucks daily, going to grab breakfast every morning before you go into the office, even if it's just a biscuit. These little also subscriptions such as Hulu or a workout app or a Spotify, the things that cost $3 to $4 here or there that can add up, sometimes $50 or more, which if you're really tight and trying to pay off something such as debt can make a big difference. And a lot of times these subscriptions are not even something we're actually no longer using. For instance, for me, I was paying for Hulu. It's $8.99 a month or something, and I had it for a few more months after I no longer even bothered with it. And I had to get it, so I signed up, and they got me because they gave me I got the first season of whatever the show was, and I was like, I need to watch the second season because my life cannot go on unless I watch the second season. So I ended up getting the subscription, and here we go. 3 months later, I've already watched the season and I'm not watching anything on it, but because I'm not really paying attention, I'm just going along in my busy life, I haven't even noticed that expense still coming out. The next step is you have to make savings a priority. It is not something you're going to want to do. Why is that? Because saving money doesn't give you that instant gratification. It doesn't give you any kind of the feeling you get when you purchase something. And then let's say you end up getting rid of some of those subscriptions and some of those expenses, and you have an extra $200 a month. What most people end up doing is thinking, ooh, what can I go spend that $200 on? Oh, it's summertime. I really would love to have a jet ski. I bet you that I could get a jet ski with payments under $200 a month. Let's go do it. You need to reframe and think of savings as paying yourself, as putting money automatically, paying yourself as an employee of yourself. The best way I've seen to do this, and I have done this, is to automate your savings. If you didn't see it, you never knew it was there. Definitely do this with a certain amount. You can, most of the time, let's say you have a direct deposit with your company. You can set up that direct deposit to put a certain percentage or a certain amount into one account where the remainder goes into another account. So if you're somebody who cannot have the self-discipline to, when you get paid, automatically put that money that you had intended to save when you made your budget over into that savings account, then maybe this is something you need to do. Separate it where it's automatically done. I also recommend doing it in a different bank, and maybe one across town so you can't get to it easily. But also with something such as a raise. If you get a raise and you were already living comfortably on what you were making, save the raise or put extra percentage towards your retirement. But making saving a priority. The last step is learning, continuing to learn. My world opened up when I started loving learning, and that didn't happen until I was in my 30s. The book that set me free, well, there's two books that kind of set me on a trajectory. The first one I'll go to was by Mel Robbins called The 5-Second Rule. And what that book is, it's where we oftentimes get into our heads and we're probably hanging out back here with all the other thoughts that we don't need to be thinking about, and we start doubting ourselves, and I can't save money. I can't go get that job that I love. I can't do this. Whereas the 5-Second Rule, and it's a great read, talks about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That automatically brings your brain back up to your prefrontal cortex so you can make a quick decision rather than thinking about the what ifs that 90% of the time don't happen. That book is a great read too. Mel Robbins talks about her own story, how she came up to it, and she also just gives examples throughout the book of people utilizing it, which is one of my favorite things. I can't stand in books where people just start throwing up all this information, and it's like, I'm not dumb. Give me some examples. I don't need you repeating yourself over and over, which honestly, a lot of self-help books these days and self-improvement books are just copycats of each other, and it's just the same nonsense, and it's no real technique or statistics showing or stories showing how they put the technique into place and it paid off. Now, the second book that actually changed my financial world was Love Your Life, Not Theirs by Rachel Cruz. Now, I had years ago read the book, The Money Book by Dave Ramsey. It didn't do anything for me. It does a lot of things for people, absolutely. It's a great book. It's a great book to reread after I read the Rachel Cruz version. And the Rachel Cruz book, Love Your Life, Not Theirs, it resonated with me. And sometimes in order to believe somebody or to make changes, it almost think you want to have that person be relatable. So it was relatable hearing her story, even though she'd never been in debt, talking about her comparisons and the comparison trap. One story she talks about is how she and her husband were saving money and decided to do a 3-day vacation to Charleston, which if you've never been, Charleston, South Carolina, gosh, love it. And when she got back, they were on this big high. They were so happy. It was the best trip. And then she started looking on Facebook. And then she noticed that her friend had gone to Italy and was posting these amazing pictures. Well, she immediately had the envy feeling and started looking up flights to Italy. Whereas she had been feeling amazing just off of her trip, which was within budget, but wasn't across the world. And it's just one of those things that when you are on social media especially, and I am no longer, I am only on YouTube because I find YouTube not only educational, but I do find it entertaining, and it's not as easily scrollable like the scrolling issue. I know myself, and I know if I have access to those other platforms that I will get lost in them and waste time. Talk about a time waster. But anyway, the book is just a great read with great stories on how to love your life the way it is and not wish to be the Joneses, or as I like to say, the Kardashians. So reading books on finance, budgeting, self-improvement, good books. I will list some of my favorites down below because I could probably do another video on all of my favorite books, but one that I keep repeating that I love lately is Deep Work by Cal Newport. He also has one called Digital Minimalism. The way he writes, it just keeps you intrigued and actually gives you tangible things that you can do to change your habits, not just the whole, you need to, love life. Be grateful. Write in your gratitude journal 5 things that you're grateful for. Go and tell your family member you love them. Those things are obvious to me. Give me a real tried and true technique. There are podcasts that you can go and listen to, and things like podcasts or audiobooks. I recommend to when you're having downtime. So when you're folding laundry, especially if you have a commute. That is one thing that really changed my life, was listening to some of these books and these audiobooks on my commute, because you drive there unconsciously anyway. Your subconscious is the one who knows how to get you to work. You have that feeling and you think, how did I even get here? You were so involved in your thoughts. So for me, rather than wasting my time listening to music, sorry, I can do that another time, I got so much more enjoyment. And half the time, the stuff that came on the radio, because I wasn't paying for like the satellite radio, got ridiculously expensive, was stuff I didn't even like. My personal opinion, this is probably an unpopular opinion, and oftentimes I go off on tangents in these videos, but today's music, anyway, listening to books and things and podcasts on the way, if I can be productive and learn during a time where I have an hour commute, that was so beneficial to me and something I still love doing. Even fiction books. I love listening to audiobooks of fiction books on the way when I'm, driving and by myself. So that is it for this video. I hope that it gave you some tips and ways to reset your half year and end the year on a good note. We are coming into the season where marketing is going to ramp up. We need to be aware of what is happening and be very strategic and not letting it take us over. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you back for more videos.